What is up, everyone? It's Alex. Motorcycle review. That's right, guys. By request, we're doing a motorcycle review today, but first off, and most importantly, the last couple of videos I've done, no one, and I mean no one in the comments, has made fun of my hideous army sweater. I mean, look at this thing. I've worn this for a couple of videos now, expecting some comment hatred for my hideous sweater. And of all the bad comments I've gotten over the years, for all kinds of stuff that are not even my fault, no one's gonna call me out on the absolute tragedy going on with this whole thing. But anyway, more importantly, moving on. So today we are reviewing the Yamaha Bolt by request from a viewer named Michael. So Michael, this one's for you, buddy. Yamaha Bolt, okay? This one's a 2019 model. Basically, the entire year run of Yamaha Bolts are about the same. They've got a basic, they've got an R spec with a little bit different suspension and stuff, and they made a C spec cafe thing. The SCR 950 is also kind of the Bolt family, but basically, we're just talking Bolt generalizations right now, okay? I'm not getting into specifics on R spec, C spec, basic Bolt review, okay? Because Michael's looking to buy one, so this is for Michael, Bolt review. So what do we got here for basics? So, we have got a 950cc-ish, air and oil cooled V-twin cruiser style motorcycle. Basically what Yamaha made this to do, and Harley fans out there, just plug your ears for a minute or just listen to me. I'm not just bear with me for a second. Basically, Yamaha made this as an answer to the Sportster. This was meant to kind of fill that same void, that same customer and the same kind of buyer that would buy a Harley Davidson Sportster, okay? Bigger than an 883, smaller than a 1200. There are some differences. Primarily, this bike's a little bit lighter. This is an overhead cam motor instead of a push rod, which makes it put out a little bit less torque, but it puts out more top-end horsepower and it makes it a lighter, smoother experience. So this was made to be a Yamaha Japanese version of a Sportster type motorcycle, but to me, it's way better than a Sportster. You can get used Sportsters for nice and cheap. They're a perfectly good bike. If you like Harleys, you like Sportsters. I've had two of them before, okay? Nothing wrong with a Sportster, but I think for what you pay, again, especially brand new, a Bolt versus a Sportster, that's what this is. This fills that category in the motorcycle market. So this is Yamaha's answer to the Sportster, okay? So we already covered, we got a 950cc-ish, air and oil cooled V-twin. We have a 5-speed transmission, okay? Standard traditional forks, disc brakes front and rear, no ABS on this one. Belt drive, old school standard external shocks in the rear, and this makes this a standard Bolt, just a base Bolt. An R-spec Bolt would have the reservoir shocks in the back of it. That's part of the upgraded suspension package, even though I said I wasn't really going to get into that. Stock, they come with a 2-in-1 exhaust. Yamaha was actually nice enough to put these kind of cool little like retroly slotted exhaust things on them.
Buy a Zero instead.
Those are coming up next. Oh, hell no. No, it'll be all right.
Am I garbage?
Nope.
Are you sure? Would you lie to me?
Possibly to preserve your feelings.
Sorry.
It's alright, I'll edit this all out later. Does everybody see this idiot on his electric motorcycle over here just like completely interrupting what we've got going on right now? I may or may not cut that out. Anyway, as per what Yamaha usually does with their cruisers, they're pretty big on metal parts, so metal tank, metal fenders. Everything else is pretty standard cruiser-ish. It's a fuel-injected motorcycle, so that's good. No liquid cooling. Yamaha really likes to do air and oil cooling on most of their cruiser line. You know, with the exception of like the V-Star 1300 and like the Royal Star series with the V4s and stuff. But most of the cruisers, the 950, the 1100, the 650 before that, the 1700s, the 1900s, most of the Yamaha cruisers are air and oil cooled, and it works really well. The engineering's good enough on them. I mean, it's been fantastic. So I've ridden plenty of these. I put a lot of miles on different versions of Bolts, the standard, the R-spec, and everything. They're fantastic. I mean, they really are cool. So Michael, if you're watching this, I don't think you can go wrong with a Bolt, man. I've sold plenty of them new. I've sold plenty of them used. I've never had anybody have a problem with them. They're a bulletproof motorcycle. They handle really well. They're in that like Sportster kind of category where they're cruiser-ish, but they're kind of light, kind of small. They're really just a really well-rounded motorcycle, actually. You know, as long as your legs will allow for it. The only people I've ever had ride the Bolts and really not like them are really tall people. I'd say if you're over probably 6 feet tall, you're going to want to get something with forward controls or something with a little bit more leg room on it, because the pegs, let me show you. The pegs are actually pretty close to you. See, you know, handlebars, pegs. You know, if you're over 6 feet tall, you probably want pegs that are further out here out front. For me, these work just fine. I'm 5'9". For most normal to short-ish people, it's gonna be fine. So basically, if you're over 6 feet tall, I'd say you're probably gonna wanna find something that stretches out a little bit more. If you're under 6 feet, you're probably gonna fit just fine. But just like any other motorcycle I review or anything I ever recommend, go sit on one, ride one. If you've got a dealer near you that's got a used one, go ride one. If they'll let you ride a new one, go ride it. Biggest recommendation with any motorcycle ever, don't just take my opinion for it, that's just my opinion. Go ride the motorcycle. But in my opinion, I've put plenty of miles on these. The Yamaha Bolt series are fantastic bikes. They will run forever, they handle good, they've got enough power for what they are, they're comfortable enough for me. They're a really good motorcycle, especially if you could find one used for what you pay for them. Fantastic, all right? I'm Alex, guys. Peace.